Hey guys, Sarah Stone Love here, and today we are taking a deep dive on our emotions and this incredible connection between our emotions and the reality that we experience. How can we use our emotions to manifest what we want? Emotions aren't just fleeting feelings that we have here and there. They're actually powerful energy that is shaping our reality. And when we understand this power, we can harness it, amplify it, use it to our advantage to manifest whatever we want. So today we're going to go over some very simple but highly effective methods that I learned from Mandy Morris, manifesting expert guru that I absolutely love. I adore her. She's teaching us how to rewire our emotions for happiness, for more high vibrational frequencies, so that we can effortlessly start attracting the things we want into our life. Mandy talks about how everything is a pattern. Just take a look at sacred geometry. Take a look at our economy, the weather, nature, ourselves, our emotions. If we can identify the pattern, then we can shift it. Scientists at the Heart Math Institute have research that proves that our heart actually sends signals to our brain that influences our perceptions, our emotional experiences, and our mental processes. The heart is actually influencing that gut feeling we get sometimes. And our heart actually is very sophisticated. It has a system of neurons that are capable of memory. And our heart is actually sending more information to our brain than our brain sends to our heart. That's how powerful our heart is. But if we shut down our heart and we only use our brain to try to navigate different situations or issues that come up in our life, we sometimes can feel really stuck. But if we feel our way through our problems and rely on our heart, it becomes a lot easier because our heart has more information. And according to Mandy Morris, and I completely agree with her, it is not the experiences in our life that make us feel, but what we're telling ourselves about it. And that is so empowering to me. It took me from a complete state of victim to a complete and total empowerment, because it's not the experiences that are making me feel. It is what I am choosing to tell myself about it. It is what I am choosing with my self-talk, with my words. So for instance, last year, I was struggling a lot. I go to a really small school and my daughter was not getting invited to some of the events with her best friends. And I kept seeing their pictures on Facebook. I was like, oh, these people don't like me. They don't want to invite me. And because they don't like me, my daughter is suffering. See, what I was telling myself right now was that nobody likes me. But is that the truth? Is that the total truth? Is that always the truth? And does it have to be the truth for me? That was simply an assumption, a belief that I was creating. And as soon as I let that go, guess what happened? My daughter and I started getting invited to the events. My belief and my perception was creating some kind of energetic wall that was propelling, pushing away these experiences that I wanted instead of bringing them in. When we face these emotions and we choose to feel them and accept them, we're actually able to release them. Whereas if we try to run away from them, we try to escape them, have a drink, scroll through social media, go shopping, oh, I don't want to feel that right now. The more we push them away, the more these emotions actually chase us throughout our life. And we unconsciously start creating scenarios and experiences to allow those emotions to come up. We actually become addicted to these emotions. As crazy as that sounds when I first heard it, but because they're familiar. And oftentimes they're just emotions that we experienced in our childhood that we never actually dealt with. We never faced them. We never accepted them, and we never processed them. So one of the most simplest tools that Mandy has taught me that have been so profound for me in my life is called an energetic check-in. And all you have to do is use your phone, set a little alarm to go off every 2 hours, and just have it say, what am I telling myself and how is that making me feel right now? And just write that down on a piece of paper. Because according to experts, we experience the same, I think it's 10 to 15 emotions every day because we become addicted to them. So we want to identify what emotions are we experiencing most often and what are we telling ourselves to make us feel it. And then what's really cool is we can start to shift that. Once we have it written down on paper, we can shift it. So for instance, when I first did this, I became aware that I was angry a lot of the time, which I had no idea. I thought I was a happy-go-lucky, happy person all the time. But if we're not aware of it, we don't bring it into our conscious awareness, then we can't resolve it, we can't release it, we can't let it go. So when you do these energetic check-ins and you become aware of what emotional pattern you're experiencing on the daily or on the weekly, and identify exactly what it is you're telling yourself that's making you feel that way. And then instead of trying to completely flip it around 100% to something that maybe you don't believe, just try shifting it 1%. Here's an example. Oftentimes I found that I was telling myself, I'm all alone with the children. I'm unsupported. I have to do all these things by myself. When in reality, my husband's out there working his butt off to provide for us. He's absolutely supporting us. He comes home completely exhausted when it's almost time for bed and still manages to help me with bedtime with the children. He's supporting me 100% in every way that he possibly can. So when I set my little energetic check-in. And I start feeling these emotions of anger and frustration. And I realize I'm telling myself again unconsciously. I don't always hear it. I'm unconsciously going through this reel, this loop in my head that's making me feel this way. I write it down on paper and then I explain to myself why that's not true. This is one of the fastest ways that I have found to change your vibration. At first, all we're looking for is neutral. And once you get to neutral, it becomes a whole lot easier to start skyrocketing up the scale to these higher vibrational frequencies and emotions that will help you to effortlessly, easily attract in all the experiences that you truly want in your life. Because the quality of your life is based on the quality of emotions you experience every day. And once heard Mandy say this, and I love it, that it's not the actual things that we want to manifest. That's not even what we really want. It's the emotional experience attached to them. So it's not tons of money, it's the feeling and the emotion of freedom. It's not the actual person that we're really wanting, it's the emotional experience of love and safety that we want. So one of the most beautiful things that I have learned from Mandy Morris, with my emotions that I'm experiencing every day, which is purely based on what I'm telling myself, completely empowers me to change my whole life. I'm Sarah Stone Love. I hope you will spend some time figuring out what your emotional patterns are, which emotions you're addicted to. Don't judge yourself on it. Oftentimes it's just based on what we experienced in our childhood because it's familiar. And our mind likes to move towards what's familiar because it feels safe. But we can change that. I'm Sarah Stone Love, and if you enjoyed this video, please let me know. Leave me a comment, subscribe, and join me every week. I'll be sharing more content on how to manifest your dreams.